Jennifer St. Sauver. I'm a professor of epidemiology at Mayo Clinic in the Division of Epidemiology, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about our paper that's in Mayo Clinic Proceedings Digital Health. It's called Associations Between Deep Learning-Derived Fat, Muscle, and Bone Measures from Abdominal Computed Tomography, or CT scans, and Risk of Falls in persons 20 years or older. So for this particular study, we have been partnering with a bioinformaticist, Dr. Alex Weston, who has developed a deep learning algorithm to derive body composition measures from routinely collected computed tomography or CT scans. And in particular, we derive measures of fat, muscle, and bone. In this study, we wanted to know whether or not these measures that we're able to derive from these scans are associated with some important outcomes of aging. In particular, we focused in on whether or not the associations between the measures that we see from these images are associated with risk of falls in a population of people 20 years of age or older. We used data from the Rochester Epidemiology Project to identify a group of a little over 3,500 people to derive these measures and then determine whether or not they had a fall after their CT image was collected. So what we found was that there were absolutely no associations between high subcutaneous fat area, high visceral fat area, low muscle area, low bone density or low bone area, and later risk of falls. By contrast, low muscle density was associated with an over twofold increased risk of falls. And also, we found that people who had the most dense muscles, those who were in the highest tertile of muscle density, had a decreased risk of falls. We found that these associations held true across all age groups, but they were especially strong in people who were between 45 and 64 years of age. In fact, people with the lowest muscle density in that age group had an over five-fold increased risk of falls. So in summary, we found that lower muscle density, but not many of these other body composition measures, were associated with an increased risk of falls later during follow-up. And these associations were by far the strongest in middle-aged persons. So these CT-derived muscle density measures may be useful predictors of fall risk as early as middle age, and they may be early markers of physical limitations, which we plan to pursue in additional follow-up studies. Thank you for your attention, and we invite you to review our full paper in Mayo Clinic Proceedings Digital Health.